Coming up this morning on Chris 6 Sunrise, the Trump administration received a big win from the Supreme Court. Scripps News Group Joe St. George joins us and breaks down what's next for the Department of Education.
And one person is dead and an officer is on administrative leave following a shooting on the city's south side. We have all the details so far. Plus,
an Annabelle woman is using her baking skills to help some of the four-leg victims of the Central Texas flood. I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Ana Conejo, showing you how you can help.
Good morning and welcome to Chris 6 Sunrise. You're waking up with the Hoffmans today. I'm Michelle Hoffman.
And I'm Brian Hoffman. What a great Taco Tuesday we have in store for you folks. Lots of news to get to, but first, let's make sure that the road is clear for you if you're just heading out the door with our very own Julia Coady. Hey, good morning, Julia.
Hey there, good morning, you guys. So weather pattern-wise, we're going to be looking at things being kind of quiet here in the coastal bend. More details on that in my full forecast coming up. But right now, like Brian said, let's go ahead and get into our current traffic conditions across the area. And similar to our weather pattern, things are, for the most part, looking to be quiet and easy for your morning commute. Heading from Ocean Drive down to SPID and on Saratoga, no traffic issues on any of those three roadways. You can see all those shades of green, indicating that traffic flow is moving really well right now. Heading on over to Flower Bluff, a bit of a difference there. You can see there's a bit of a medium to slow speed that you're going to encounter throughout portions of Waldron Road. All clear, though, for your drive heading in both directions on Flower Bluff Drive. And once you start to approach the gate at NAS Corpus Christi, as per usual, each and every morning, you can expect a little bit of a congestion issue there just as more people start to make their way heading in that direction towards the gate at NAS Corpus Christi. Then moving on over towards the JFK Causeway going to and from the island. Again, looking at pretty easy driving conditions this morning. We saw just in the last hour that there was little to no traffic flow. So if a couple cars have to go on over in each direction there on the JFK Causeway, you're going to be probably greeted with not that many neighbors right now in your morning commute. More details of what you expect in your forecast, though, coming up in just the next few minutes.
Julia, thank you. So the Corpus Christi Police Department, they are investigating an officer-involved shooting that happened on the city's south side. It all happened Monday night just after 6 over the Elk and Kodiak Drive, and that's near Yorktown and Cimarron. According to police, the male suspect engaged in a physical struggle with an officer that started in a home and continued outside. The officer tried to use a non-deadly force. The suspect continued to fight with the officer, got into a vehicle, and attempted to run the officer over. The officer then fired his weapon at the suspect, who was taken to a local hospital and later died. As per department policy, the officer has been placed on administrative leave.
A group of residents and business owners are taking legal action against the state over a discharge permit for the city's proposed Inner Harbor desalination plant. The Hillcrest neighborhood, also a plaintiff in the case, is bracing for another fight. Today, the city council is set to vote on a plan to rezone parts of the area to industrial use and close 11 streets. Residents say the move will only compound their struggles.
We have been, to a great extent, ignored. And we do not want that to continue to happen. That is what the fight is about. Okay. We want to preserve our history, and we want to preserve our heritage.
Now, today's vote comes after years of industrial expansion, and residents say it came with broken promises and buyouts that have left many residents feeling displaced and powerless.
Well, some Kingsville neighbors plan to be at the Corpus Christi City Council meeting today to protest another desal project. Last week, Neighbor News reporter Michaela Chavez told you about a groundwater desal project that would discharge 1 million gallons of waste a day into Baffin Bay. In August of last year, the South Texas Water Authority and Seven Seas Water entered into a contract to build a desal plant in Kingsville. Mayor Sam Fugate, local fishing guides, and neighbors plan to voice their opposition at today's council meeting.
In your national headlines, the justices ruled the Trump administration can proceed with its plan to carry out mass layoffs at the Department of Education. In an unsigned order, the justices lifted a lower court ruling that had indefinitely paused the president's plan. The court's decision puts the lower court ruling on hold while the legal challenges play out. Critics say the downsizing will make it nearly impossible for the department to do its work. Scripps News Group Joe St. George will join us at 6:12 with the latest.
And the Justice Department has directed federal agencies to cut the number of multilingual services that they offer. The Justice Department says the effort to get rid of programs for people with limited English proficiency will help streamline federal processes. The memo also says agencies can redirect the money to programs that will improve English proficiency and assimilation. If a multicultural program is deemed necessary, then there should also be a note stating English is the official language used by the government.
Alicia Taylor, owner of September Moon Bakery in Annaville, is donating half of all cookie box sales this month to Kerrville Pets Alive, a nonprofit reuniting flood victims with their lost pets. The nonprofit says as families rebuild, money donations are life-changing and are helping with many pet necessities.
Hey there, good morning. Happy Tuesday. We're not trying to restart this whole work week, my bad. Happy Tuesday. Getting you started here today. We're looking at conditions going to be a little less cloudy compared to yesterday. We're going to still start off with partly cloudy skies right now. As you can see behind me, looking at our view from our Whataburger Field Skycam, where you can see some passing cloud cover, some small hints that sunrise begin over on the horizon there, but conditions are going to be pretty much quiet here in the coastal bend. Not expecting any big changes at all in the forecast right now this week. Things are going to be pretty consistent each and every day. Still breezy and hot in the area, and waking up, we're still going to be feeling pretty humid as well, reaching toward those temperatures at least into the upper 70s or the lower 80s across all of our neighborhoods here in the coastal bend. Wind speeds on the lighter side for now before they will increase, reaching towards again 15 to 20 miles an hour. Wind gusts will also kick up, going towards 25, just under 30 miles an hour for those wind gusts as we head towards the afternoon as well. Looking at our planner here, again starting off with those partly cloudy skies, eventually clearing out towards mostly sunny and eventually sunny conditions as we head towards this afternoon. Again, like I mentioned, with those wind speeds increasing anywhere between 15 to 20 miles an hour also during our afternoon hours today on this Tuesday. We'll see our temperatures increase, getting back up there towards those low to mid 90s throughout some neighborhoods. Here in Corpus Christi, though, forecasting a high temperature of 94 degrees. But like I mentioned, with those wind gusts, bit of a break compared to last week. Still going to see those clocking just below 30 miles an hour as we go through our afternoon, then decreasing towards those teens as we look ahead towards the overnight into your Wednesday. Feel like temperatures are still going to be on that hot side as well. Things are still muggy and humid for us here in South Texas, so we'll still see those feel like temperatures approaching those upper 90s to lower 100s already by midday, and certainly by this afternoon we're talking about those feel like temperatures increasing towards those lower 100s. So things aren't really changing for us here in the coastal bend. Pretty much a consistent forecast each and every day for us here in the coastal bend. So looking at Saharan dust, though, we do have that latest plume now reaching its way into the coastal bend right now. Going to continue to linger in our area throughout most of the midweek, and then decreasing and dissipating by the time we get towards the latter hours on your Thursday, and by Friday eventually completely clearing out from that Saharan dust in our area. We should be looking at a bit of an issue in terms of our air quality, thankfully, because that plume is going to be on the lighter side. Taking a quick look now at our tropic situation here. We do have that system right now still brewing with a 40% chance of development or formation over the next 7 days. Right now causing very heavy rainfall over Florida, but the system is forecasted to track its way westward. So at the very least here, impacts to us here in the coastal bend could be looking at a bit of an issue in terms of rip currents ahead for us later on in the upcoming days. But right now we'll continue to track that system out for you as we look ahead towards that getting a little bit closer. But either way, looking at 7-day forecast, still temperatures reaching towards those 90s.
What's next for these three city commissioners? I'm Tari Spoon in Kingsville with a look at what happened during Monday's meeting.
And the Trump administration received a big win from the Supreme Court, and the department getting a big loss. Coming up after the break, Scripps News Group Joe St. George joins us and breaks down what's next for the Department of Education. Welcome back, folks. It is 6:12 on your Taco Tuesday morning as we're taking in a live look from our Whataburger Skycam, looking at the Old Harbor Bridge. Looking gorgeous right now. We're going to be checking in with our meteorologist, Julia Equay, to take a look at the forecast for the rest of the week. But first, we head to Washington, where President Trump received a major victory on Monday over at the Supreme Court. The justices voting along party lines, Republican majority, of course, ruled that the Trump administration can proceed with its plan to carry out mass firings at the Department of Education.
Now, to talk about this, we bring in Scripps News Group Deputy Political Director Joe St. George. Now, Joe, loaded question. What's next for the Department of Education?
Well, there's a lot to dissect with this latest order from the Supreme Court, but let's start with federal workers. For many federal workers, thousands of federal workers, there was a little bit of hope that the courts may be a bit of a Hail Mary here and save their positions. It doesn't seem to be that is going to happen. This is the second similar order from the Supreme Court in as many days, essentially allowing President Trump to move forward with the downsizing of the federal government and various agencies. So there's an impact, a human, family, life, financial impact on federal workers here. Now let's talk about education and impacts on your child's education. Traditionally, the Department of Education has been the smallest cabinet agency, only at its height around 4,000 or so employees. 1,400 people losing their jobs, being terminated. That's a significant portion of the department's workforce because the department is not going anywhere. Even though President Trump wants to eliminate it, he can't without Congress, and the votes aren't there. So now you're talking about an agency still in existence, but with far fewer employees. There is discussion amongst conservatives in Washington about shifting some responsibilities from the department to other cabinet agencies. Perhaps could the Department of Treasury handle student loans going forward? That's one idea. There are some who want to shift policies to the state. I think that if the Trump administration shifts oversight of policies to Austin, let's say, and keeps funding at similar levels, the impact on your kids' education would be minimal given the fact that curriculums in this country tend to be set at the local and state level anyway. But where teachers' unions, advocacy groups are concerned, they're worried about low-income communities, communities in which there are students with disabilities, discrimination claims. These are areas of education where the Department of Education played a larger role than local or state overseeing groups. There's a possibility for big impacts in those areas, and that's what have so many teachers concerned. But again, the Department of Education technically won't be eliminated here. They're going to be moving forward just with far fewer employees, which is leading some to wonder, are policies going to shift to other places? Guys, I think we need to watch the money here. It's less about who is reporting where and what administrative position is overseeing a program. It's all about the money and whether there's cuts to things like discrimination claims or students with disabilities. That's the real big question here in Washington.
Well, thank you, Joe, for the information so far.
Yeah, we appreciate you keeping up to date. We'll talk to you very soon.
Hey there, good morning, happy Tuesday. So heading out the door, you're going to be in for the same conditions yesterday in store for us today. One small difference though, a little less cloudy is kicking us off on this Tuesday morning. Right now, taking in our view from our CC Skycam over Snoopy's Pier, can make out some more of that hints of that sunrise beginning today. Yesterday, we're looking at really cloudy conditions coming in, not really making up too much of that gorgeous sunrise. But today, can see it coming in just beyond the JFK Causeway there. Temperature-wise, things are going to be off still towards a muggy start for us here in the coastal bend, reaching towards those upper 70s or lower 80s for our current air temperatures across the area. Feel like temperatures already approaching those upper 80s here in Corpus Christi and over in Robstown. And for areas that are along the coast, already approaching those upper 80s to low 90s right now with those feel like temperatures between that range at this hour. Looking at our hour-by-hour forecast, things will continue to dry up in terms of our skies becoming a little less cloudy, allowing for more sunshine throughout the course of our day. You can see those temperatures also increasing towards those lower 90s by 1 o'clock this afternoon. Once again, things are going to stay consistent. We're still going to be looking at pretty muggy and breezy conditions with those winds coming in from the southeast, going upwards of 15 miles an hour, anywhere between 15 to 20 miles an hour for those sustained winds. Wind gusts will be expected to still be just below 30 miles an hour throughout our afternoon. Looking at our feel like temperatures, still reaching toward those lower 100s. So again, that's where that mugginess and humidity comes in, still making for pretty hot and potentially oppressive conditions as we head towards this afternoon, then decreasing towards those 90s as we get towards this evening and going towards the overnight. So what's keeping us in this weather pattern is basically strong sense of high pressure that's going to continue to keep us locked in with these pretty consistent and repetitive weather pattern for now. And also we have a little bit of a light plume of Saharan dust that's right now making its way to the coastal bend further reinforcing these drier conditions, taking away a little bit of that cloud cover as well. So we'll see that kind of track through across the coastal bend before clearing out as you look ahead towards your Thursday and your Friday. And very quickly updating you on what's going on and brewing over in the tropics. We have the system that we're still monitoring right now, having this 40% chance of development right now off the coast of the Sunshine State. It is forecasted to make its way tracking towards the western part of the Gulf of Mexico. So that could have impacts for us here in the coastal bend, at least on the side of maybe potentially having some rip currents coming into the area. So maybe causing a bit of a more harsher beach conditions a couple of days ahead. We'll continue to track that out for you, give you more updates on that as that system develops. But look at your 7-day forecast, just more Saharan dust and heat and seasonable weather here in the coastal bend.
Dinosaurs in San Diego. I'm Melissa Trevino, learning about the ancient creatures that popped up in the rural community and how the kids are taking a trip back in time.
A friendly competition for a good cause. Coming up after the break, the annual campaign between two law enforcement agencies is back. Welcome back, folks. Friendly competition between Corpus Christi's police and fire departments is helping with the blood shortage in the coastal bend. The Boots and Badges blood drive is simple. When anyone donates blood, they choose between boots to support the fire department or badges for the police. The friendly competition encourages more donors at this critical time of year.
It's a great way to promote the importance of donating blood during the summer months. There's always a need for it.
You don't have to wear a badge to be a hero in the community. You can come out and donate blood and give back.
The July 26th, of course, is the last day to donate for your team. All donors will receive a free limited edition Boots and Badges t-shirt and Hooks tickets. Winners will be announced August 5th at Whataburger Field.
All right, good morning and happy Tuesday. Taking a live look outside of our first community bank Skycam atop the USS Lexington. Can make out more sense of that sunrise happening for us, and still some partly cloudy skies to greet us this morning as well. Looking at the traffic flow, we can see things are moving pretty well on the new Harbor Bridge going to and from the Portland area. Very minimal traffic flow happening on the Old Harbor Bridge if you're going to be heading northbound towards North Beach. Let's go and take a look at those traffic flow maps, see what you can expect on other roadways here. As you see on the JFK Causeway going to and from the island, again looking at pretty much the same easy driving conditions that we saw just a moment ago on both the new and Old Harbor Bridges. Moving now towards Fowler Bluff, we can see just a little bit of a medium speed that you're going to encounter going in one direction here on Waldron Road. All clear on your drive for Flat Bluff Drive, and then heading towards the gate NES Corpus Christi, a bit of a medium speed as you get a little bit closer towards the gate. All clear on your drive as well, heading on Ocean Drive down to SPID and on Saratoga for your Tuesday morning commute. That's it for Traport. Details to your forecast coming up.
Improving on natural beauty. I'm Erin Holly on Padre Island, showing you how a group of volunteers is keeping Padre Island beautiful, one project at a time.
Now, weather on the 6s.
Hey there, good morning and welcome back. Taking in this gorgeous view from our CCC Skycam over Snoopy's Pier. Got that gorgeous view of our sunrise beyond the JFK Causeway there. Still a little bit of lingering cloud cover for us this morning though, with some partly cloudy skies that will eventually begin to break apart and give us some mostly sunny conditions as we head towards this afternoon. But right now, I still think we can appreciate the view that we're getting right now this morning. Definitely less cloud cover than we had yesterday. But let's go ahead and get into our current temperatures and feel like temperatures across the area. We're looking at those reaching towards those upper 70s or those lower 80s, so that heat and humidity is already settling in for us already this morning, similar to yesterday. Again, so you can see those feel like temperatures also approaching those upper 80s to low 90s, especially for areas down along the coast. So we can expect things to really quickly warm up for us, especially as we head towards this afternoon. Looking at our planner, we can see again, looking at a bit of a cloudy start or partly cloudy start for us this morning, eventually clearing out to more sunny conditions as we head toward this afternoon. Also see an increase in our temperatures reaching toward those lower 90s, looking at an afternoon high temperature of 94 degrees here in Corpus Christi. Also, what's going to be similar for us today, we'll still see them breezy conditions coming with those wind speeds out from the southeast going anywhere between 15 to 20 miles an hour for us, sustained winds, while wind gusts will be reaching upwards of 25, maybe approaching 30 miles an hour, but not expected to go up beyond that as we head towards our afternoon hours as well. Taking a look at our feel like temperatures, reaching towards those triple digits yet again as we head towards this afternoon. So still make sure you're ready for that oppressive but normal heat they'll be experiencing this afternoon here in the coastal bend, then decreasing with those feel like temperatures approaching those lower 90s as we look ahead towards tonight into the overnight on your Wednesday. Now, what's keeping us in this very consistent and stagnant weather pattern of daily heat and breezy conditions right now is where high pressure is currently situated. So it's going to keep us locked in with the very same repetitive weather pattern that we've seen so far since this past weekend, continuing for us throughout the majority of this week. Now, along with that high pressure, that's why we're seeing more dry conditions, not expecting much of any beneficial rainfall in the forecast. What's not going to help us on that side either is going to be this next plume, albeit a light plume right now, of Saharan dust that's making its way into the coastal bend and throughout South Texas. It's going to linger in our area all throughout tomorrow into your Thursday, beginning to dissipate at that point, and we'll see it completely clear out as we look ahead towards your Friday. So then things will get a little less hazy in a sense if we see any of that haze coming in with that lighter plume of that Saharan dust coming into the area today. And again, like I mentioned, thanks to high pressure and along with that slight plume of Saharan dust, that's going to continue to keep us dry. Not expecting any beneficial rainfall at all in the forecast this week into this weekend, even to the early part of next week right now. Now, what could cause a bit of a change in that potentially is what's going on and brewing in the tropics right now. We do have that system we've been talking about and tracking for the past few days. Still now looking at a 40% chance of formation over the next 7 days right now, causing very heavy downpours over in the Sunshine State of Florida. Now, the system is forecasted and tracked to make its way over towards the central part of the Gulf, so that could cause us at the very least to potentially see some rip current issues for our beach conditions here in the coastal bend. Now, for our rain chances, it's just a little too early to tell if we'll see any moisture from this system right now at this point, but we'll continue to forecast that and track that for you here. Now, look at your 7-day forecast. Again, things are just going to be pretty much similar each and every day, reaching with those temperatures into the 90s with sunny skies and just a little bit Saharan dust for us this week.
Hey everyone, I'm Larissa Liska at Whataburger Field, where the Hooks are on vacation. They go back to work on Friday in Frisco. Before they left, one pitcher sat down with our 12-year-old Chris Six Hooks kid reporter Chase in sports.
Now, say hello to your neighbors. This is your Chris 6 News Sunrise Shoutouts.
Hello, Chris 6 Sunrise team. I'm Rosemary with the Aransas Pass Chamber of Commerce, and I want to wish all my neighbors across the coastal bend a great morning and a great day.
Hey, Rosemary, we also want to wish you and our neighbors in Aransas Pass a great day as well. And folks, if you want to send us your own shout out video, all you have to do is scan the QR code right there on your screen or go to our website, christv.com.
This is Veterans in Focus, sponsored by the Heil Law Firm, battling for justice, winning for the community.
So as you can imagine, running any kind of business isn't cheap, and keeping history alive can be even harder. But in Aransas Pass, a group of dedicated volunteers is getting creative to keep a unique museum going. The Ingleside Regional Airport is home to the Maxine Flournoy Third Coast Commemorative Air Force Museum, and it moved here from Alice nearly a decade ago. But for over 20 years, it's been preserving the powerful stories and sacrifices of veterans. The museum doesn't receive a dime from state or federal funding. Education coordinator Francis Sawyer says they operate on donations.
It's very expensive.
I bet.
This part of the area has to be climate controlled.
And you know what? They've been hosting fundraisers year-round to make sure they can stick around. Make sure you join us at 6 tonight to see why this mission means so much to volunteers who keep it alive.
Hey everyone, I'm Larissa Liska at Whataburger Field. Last week, the Hooks had a tough series against Springfield at home, but now they're on a short vacation before going back to work on Friday in Frisco. Before they left, pitcher Patrick Halligan sat down with our 12-year-old Chris Six Hooks kid reporter for some rapid-fire questions.
Hi, I'm Chase. I'm this week's kid reporter. Which is better, Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
All right. Who taught you to play baseball?
My dad from the beginning, yeah.
What is your favorite sport other than baseball?
Well, I played basketball and hockey. I think I'd have to go basketball. I was better at basketball.
All right. What's your favorite song?
Favorite song? I'm going to go right now, White Horse by Chris Stapleton.
All right.
He's my favorite.
Where are you from?
I'm from Vienna, Virginia, right outside Washington, D.C.
Nice. What is your favorite candy?
My favorite candy? I'd probably go Skittles.
What do you get at Whataburger?
Whataburger? Just the number one. I don't go very often, but Just the regular #1 hamburger. No cheese for me. I'm allergic to dairy, so yeah.
Who was your favorite player growing up?
Favorite player, Chase Utley, for sure.
What is the hardest part of being a pro ball player?
Hardest part is the coming here for 140 games. It's all year round, so
Yes.
it's a grind. But,
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Hey there, good morning. Happy Tuesday. So in terms of our weather pattern, things are going to be pretty stagnant for us and repetitive right now. We're just going to continue to experience high temperatures, look at a lot of sunshine and some pretty breezy winds coming in from the southeast. That's going to continue all through our work week. So right now, going ahead and take a look at our planner here. We'll see our temperatures increase towards those lower 80s by 10 o'clock this morning. A little less cloud cover, looking at partly cloudy skies as we go through our morning hours and looking at mostly sunny conditions in our skies as we head towards this afternoon and to the early evening. Going to have a forecast high temperature of 94 degrees here in Corpus Christi. Also, again, like I said, a continuation of those breezy winds coming in around 18 miles an hour over our afternoon and early evening hours. But we'll continue to see those winds clocking anywhere between 15 to 20 miles an hour with those wind gusts just below 30 miles an hour during our afternoon as well. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, have a light plume of Saharan dust that's right now taking its way into the coastal bend and will continue to linger throughout your Wednesday, then begin to dissipate on your Thursday into your Friday. Temperatures will also continue to be on the rise, reaching at least towards those lower 90s, maybe getting towards those upper 90s as we look ahead towards this upcoming weekend. But again, no changes in our weather pattern as high pressure continues to dominate.
6. This is 20 minutes of non-stop news.
Welcome back, folks. Thank you so much for joining us for our 20 minutes of non-stop news with the Hoffmans. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman. We'll check in with meteorologist Julia Quady in just a bit. But first, neighborhood news reporter Tyrese Boone finds out what's next for the 3 commissioners in Kingsville who are asked to vacate their seat.
I'm Tyrese Boone, your neighborhood news reporter here in Kingsville. Many neighbors have called for these 3 city commissioners to vacate their seats. I sat in on Monday's meeting to find out what's next for them. The agenda item on the recall election failed in a 3-2 vote during the Kingsville City Commission's meeting Monday. The 3 that voted no were Norma Nelda Alvarez, Hector Hinojosa, and Leo Alarcon, commissioners who were up for the recall. There were mixed emotions from neighbors here like Serena Tijerina, who started the petition, but the majority weren't surprised by the outcome.
I did expect the vote to go this way. I did expect it to be a 3-2 vote.
The call for a recall began when Selena's petition reached 282 signatures, which was enough for the recall election to be discussed.
Watching what was going on in city council meetings, and it was like, okay, these city commission meetings are not going as they should be going. So then it became more and more, okay, now you're starting to do things that don't align with what you said you were going to do.
But now, due to commissioners failing to call an election, it states in the city's charter code a district judge in Clayburgh County will step in and carry out those responsibilities. As for the commission, I tried to get an interview with the commissioners, but was denied once again for comment. It is unclear who will be in charge of presenting the petition, but Selena says she will make sure that it is received by the judge.
I am getting all the information I need. If it's getting an attorney on my end to go ahead and move forward with the petition and take it to the district, we're definitely going to be looking into that.
We'll be sure to keep you updated on this developing story. In Kingsville, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Tyrese Boone, Chris 6 News.
Now, folks, this is a story Tyrese has been following up on for a while. If you have any story ideas or tips out of the Clayburgh or Western Nueces County areas, you can always let Tyrese know by scanning the QR code on your screen.
All right, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Taking a live look outside of our Skycam Overtop SPID. We can see those roadways are beginning to get a little bit more busy as folks start their day, get their morning started, heading out the door. Things are looking pretty clear on most of our roadways this morning, but taking a quick glimpse at that sky, you can see things are still off to a bit of a cloudy note, maybe a little bit of haze coming in with that latest light plume of Saharan dust pushing its way into South Texas as well. Let's go and take a look at those traffic maps though to get a better idea of what to expect on other roadways for your morning commute here. Taking a look on Ocean Drive down to SPID and on Saratoga, all 3 of those roadways moving pretty well for us this morning. Heading on over towards Flower Bluff, a bit of a medium to slow speed that you're going to encounter throughout portions of Waldron Road, so just make sure you keep that in mind. All clear on Flower Bluff Drive for your drive there, and then getting a little bit closer towards the gate at NES Corpus Christi. As per usual, can expect a little bit of a medium speed of a slowdown there as you get a little bit closer. Then heading towards the JFK Causeway, going to and from the island, looking at easy driving conditions for your Tuesday morning. That's it for your traffic report. With details to your forecast coming up.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
All right, folks, here's the list we've compiled of 6 things you need to know before you head out the door.
The justices have ruled that the Trump administration can proceed with its plans to carry out mass layoffs at the Department of Education. In an unsigned order, the justices lifted a lower court ruling that had indefinitely paused the president's plan. The court's decision puts the lower court ruling on hold while the legal challenges play out. Critics say the downsizing will make it nearly impossible for the department to do its work.
Well, the Justice Department has directed federal agencies to cut the number of multilingual services that they offer. The Justice Department says the effort is to get rid of programs for people with limited English proficiency, and it will help streamline federal processes. The memo also says agencies can redirect the money to programs that will improve English proficiency and assimilation. If a multicultural program is deemed necessary, then there should also be a note stating English is the official language used by the government.
Heavy rains returned to the Hill Country yesterday, 10 days after catastrophic flooding. In Kerr County, recovery efforts continue. At least 132 deaths were reported as of Monday, and hundreds are still missing. Of those confirmed dead, 106 were in Kerr County, including 36 children, after heavy rains flooded the Guadalupe River on July 4th. In Concan, the Frio River crested Monday afternoon. Flood watches and advisories remain in effect for the area.
Well, Corpus Christi police are investigating an officer-involved shooting that happened on the city's south side. It all happened Monday night just after 6 p.m. at Elk and Kodiak Drive. That's near Yorktown and Cimarron. According to police, the male suspect engaged in a physical struggle with the officer that started in a home and continued outside. The officer tried to use non-deadly force. The suspect continued to fight with the officer, got into a vehicle, and then attempted to run the officer over. The officer then fired his weapon at the suspect, who was taken to the hospital and later died. As per department policy, the officer has been placed on administrative leave.
Starting today, the public comment part of the Corpus Christi City Council meeting will move from noon to 5:30 p.m. Council approved that time change at their June 10th meeting, so neighbors wishing to speak during public comment must sign up at least 1 hour before the meeting starts. You can sign up online or in person at the City Hall kiosk, and that's outside the City Council chambers.
Well, neighbors have a chance to get a free auto checkup for their vehicles through the Auto Check program. So Auto Check is a program offered by the Pollution Prevention Partnership over at TAMUCC along with the Port of Corpus Christi. They offer free vehicle emissions testing, gas cap testing, and diagnostic scans for more check engine lights. The drive-up service is free and open to the public starting this morning at 9 a.m. over at the Goodwill Ayers clearance store located at 4135 Ayers Street.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Hang out the door. Things are looking very similar to yesterday. A bit of a cloudy start for us this morning on this Tuesday. We'll eventually see some more sunshine as we go over the course of our morning, and certainly by this afternoon. We'll also be stuck in the same weather pattern where things are going to continue to be dry for us here in the Coastal Bend. Just really the two key words for our forecast this week are going to be the same. It's just going to be hot and breezy for us across the area. So right now, let's go and take a look at our view here over our Whataburger Field Skycam, pointed over towards downtown, making out those cloudy conditions right now to start us off on this Tuesday morning. But before we go ahead and get into our forecast here in the Coastal Bend, let's quickly go over the rain event that's still happening over in the Hill Country and portions of Central Texas. In terms of what we saw yesterday, in terms of rainfall totals from that last system that passed on through, area saw upwards of 9 inches of rainfall that happened over in that area. So a lot of rainfall still happening over again in the Hill Country and in Central Texas. Now, in terms of what is in the forecast today, still looking at some shower activity happening over in that same region. So there is still a flood watch in effect until 1 o'clock this afternoon. That's of course related towards the flooding and caused by excessive rainfall. That's still going to be a concern for that area, and an additional 1 to 3 inches that could still be picked up today from those showers that still be moving in through those areas. And also there's still flash flood warning in effect for these areas in the shade of red. So this is impacting cities like Rock Springs, Campwood, and as well as Uvalde. So you guys have already experienced around 2 to 6 inches of rainfall already in those selected areas. And again, an additional 2 to 3 inches could be anticipated with those showers still impacting that region. So still sending prayers to those areas to be impacted with those showers again for today. Now for us here at home, again, things things are going to be very dry. We're not expecting any rainfall in our forecast today with that repetitive weather pattern. Right now, waking up, temperatures reaching toward those upper 70s to lower 80s right now. Feel like temperatures are already approaching towards those lower 90s for areas that are along the coast. Looking at our hourly planner here, again, starting off on a bit of a cloudy note, allowing for more sunshine over our morning hours, eventually reaching that temperature of 88 degrees by 10 o'clock this morning, then approaching those 90s by 2 o'clock in the afternoon under more sunny skies. And that's going to continue as well, heading towards the early evening hours. Again, like I mentioned, still looking at breezy conditions persisting in the forecast as well. So we'll see our wind speeds clocking anywhere between 15 up to 20 miles an hour for our sustained winds. Wind gusts just going to be slightly below 30 miles an hour as we head through our afternoon. But like I mentioned, in terms of that heat, that's still going to be consistent for us due to high pressure just dominating our area. So we'll still be looking at those feel like temperatures also reaching towards those triple digits by this afternoon, then decreasing towards those lower 90s as we head towards tonight into the overnight on your Wednesday. And we'll be pretty much stuck in this weather pattern again all throughout the coastal bend this week, just because of what's going on with high pressure just dominating our forecast right now. And as we all know, high pressure just promotes sunshine, which you're going to see in the forecast, and dry conditions and lack of any true beneficial rainfall right now. And like I noted, that's what's going to be in the forecast for us all throughout the next 7 days. As we take a look at your 7-day forecast, we do have a light plume of Saharan dust that's pushing its way to the coastal bend today. It's going to begin to dissipate by the time we get towards your Thursday and your Friday. But either way, still looking at pretty much a copy and paste forecast each and every day this week.
Good to know, Julia. Thank you so much. So about 13 million Americans are estimated to be affected by seasonal affective disorder. It's a form of depression typically seen in fall and winter months. But the American Psychiatric Association says some people may also experience it in the summer. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on how the heat can trigger symptoms of mood disorders and how to protect those at highest risk.
The heat and humidity may make you a bit grumpy, but for those with underlying mood disorders, the season can amplify symptoms.
The difference between someone who's experiencing sort of normal stress-related response to heat versus something that might be more of a problem really depends on if it persists.
Psychologist Louisa Sylvia with Massachusetts General Hospital says if feelings of irritability, frustration, anger, or stress last for days and begin to impact family, school, or work, that may be a red flag.
Heat can impact serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter in the brain, and already people with mood disorders have a dysfunction in that neurotransmitter. So heat sort of exacerbates or makes mood worse in those folks who have that sort of genetic vulnerability for mood disorder.
Sylvia says if you notice changes in sleep where you're getting less and changes of energy when you're feeling more energetic despite the lack of Z's, those are also red flags to see a doctor.
You need to drink a lot of water to stay hydrated. Also prioritizing your physical health, trying to get out when you can, particularly early in the morning or later at night when it's cooler. Staying cool with air conditioning if you have it, or staying near water if you're capable, or at least trying to stay in the shade and around fans.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Alicia Taylor, owner of September Moon Bakery in Annaville, is donating half of all cookie box sales this month to Kerrville Pets Alive, a nonprofit reuniting flood victims with their lost pets. The nonprofit says as families rebuild, money donations are life-changing and are helping with many pet necessities.
If you've driven around the island lately, you may have seen some projects like this new flagpole behind me popping up in communal areas. I'm Erin Hawley, your Padre Island neighborhood news reporter, and I'll introduce you to the group of women dedicating their time to make Padre Island more beautiful.
We've got to redo, obviously, all this landscaping too.
Fixing up the landscaping around the island is just one of many projects the Island Pride Volunteer Group is working on. That's been the mission of Island neighbors Margarita Willett, Debbie Wall, Cassie Romfield, Marilyn Litt, and Gloria Cornett since they started Island Pride last August. Some of the beautification projects that Island Pride has worked on include placing American flags around the island, contacting city officials and TxDOT about road issues, and cleaning up communal areas.
The Dinosaur George Traveling Museum just pulled up into the small town of San Diego, and the local kids are absolutely loving it. Kids and adults couldn't contain their excitement, from the massive fossils on display to the souvenirs in the pop-up gift shops, all taking these kids back in time. This isn't your everyday thing in this rural community. Catherine Cortez, who works with the ACE program and grew up in San Diego, was pumped to see it happen. She said she can't recall having something like this come out to her hometown. Dinosaur George tells me in the late 1990s, a dinosaur fossil was discovered not far from here, and he's glad to bring dinosaurs to life for the rural community. In San Diego, I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter, Press 6 News.
All right, folks, so Hawaiian Bros is now open. The island-inspired restaurant pays homage to the Hawaiian plate lunch, rather. Their chicken is cooked in various Hawaiian ways and served with white rice and macaroni salad. Some of the first customers of the new store walked away with gift cards worth up to $500. And one lucky visitor won free Hawaiian Bros for a year. Hawaiian Brothers is located at SPID, or on SPID rather, across from the old Sunrise Mall.
And this may come as no surprise, but the Starbucks secret menu is no longer a secret. But the coffee chain is making it easier for rewards members to find new drink hacks with a tab on its app. Starbucks is also holding a contest where customers can submit their best customized beverage this week. The drinks will be voted on, with finalists receiving cash prizes, including $25,000 to the winner. You can start building your drink in the Starbucks app right now. I know, Julia, you have the app.
I don't need to know that.
You should totally do that.
What would you make? What would you make?
I don't know. My goodness. The possibilities seem endless, no? I love cold foam, so I would just try all the different type of cold foams, just try to mix it with different coffees.
Nice.
I think that's my first thought.
I don't think anyone would like what I would want. I would do nitro cold brew, maybe 3 shots of espresso, call it a day.
Yeah, you gotta have some syrup in there. You know, I used to work for Starbucks when I was in college, and we used to come up with the craziest different combinations. There was one we made that tasted like Fruity Pebbles. Oh, great! I might
download the app, win, and let's get that money.
She's over there scheming. Oh my goodness, but today will be a great day for a nice cold Starbucks drink. If you want to create that for yourself, because things are going to continue to be the same here in the Coastal Bend, still hot and breezy all across the area. Right now, taking a live look at our Snoopy Spears Skycam, sponsored by CCAC, getting that gorgeous hint over the JFK Causeway, where you can see some hints of that sunrise. So things are off to a gorgeous but muggy start here for us in the Coastal Bend. Now, right now, taking a look at our current temperatures, we can see how that picture is going to be painted out in a bit of a muggy note. Temperatures are already reaching towards those upper 70s to low 80s across the area. Feel like temperatures approaching those lower 90s right now in some areas, especially for areas that are along the coast. So again, just giving you a bit of a sneak peek of what is to come later on this afternoon. There's more of that heat and humidity that's going to settle on in. But let's go ahead and get into what this all means for your dog walking forecast. First, introducing our stars for today. We got Zoe and Bella, maybe expecting some nice beach conditions heading out towards their dog walk today. Now, today that is a guarantee, but things could get a little rough potentially for us here in the Coastal Bend over the next coming days, depending what's going to be brewing over in the tropics. I'll have more details hopefully in the next few more moments. Right now, taking a look at our conditions right now heading out the door for your dog walk. Things will be looking a little more sunny as we go through the next few hours. Eventually looking at mostly sunny conditions as we head towards this afternoon. Temperatures also increasing, getting towards those upper 80s and low 90s as we get towards the afternoon hours, towards lunchtime as well. Wind speeds will begin on the lighter side and then begin to increase, heading towards around 15 to 20, maybe approaching around 25 miles an hour with those sustained wind speeds by this afternoon, when gusts just going to be below 30 miles an hour this afternoon too. Looking at our forecast overall, going to have a forecast high temperature of 94 degrees here in Corpus Christi, under partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies by this afternoon. But again, what's going to be consistent is going to be those hot and muggy conditions, along with that breeze coming in from the southeast throughout the day, and that's just going to be a daily occurrence for us as we remain stuck in the same weather weather pattern here. Looking at Saharan dust, we have this latest plume now pushing its way into the coastal bend, albeit it's going to be a light one, so we might not see huge impacts from it, but along with high pressure dominating our area and now seeing some more drier air coming in by way of the Saharan dust, that's just going to keep us even further in a bit of a strong lock in terms of our conditions, not really changing for us at all this week, and certainly going to keep our rain chances to be very, very low. Not expecting any rainfall here in the coastal bend, looking very unlikely over the next few days, all throughout this week, even heading towards this weekend. So not expecting any changes there by any means. Now taking a quick look at what's going on in the tropics, this is what I was mentioning that could cause a bit of an issue in terms of our beach conditions here in the coastal bend over the next few days potentially. With this system right now, with the 40% chance of development causing some very heavy rainfall over in the Florida, it could make its way over towards the western portions of the Gulf. And again, once stuff starts happening over in the Gulf, it could cause us with a bit of a surf issue here in the coastal bend. So we could see a bit of a downturn in that sense over the coming days, but still looking good for our 7-day forecast.
Alrighty, Julia. Well, thank you so much. And folks, thank you as always for joining us on Chris 6 Sunrise. We hope you guys have a great day. I'll also see you at noon.
Oh, yeah. Have a great one, guys. Bye.